first of all, I don't know 100% about the details of that, but I just want to go back to Vittori and Izzy. If we look at Izzy's career after Marvin, he obviously steamed for a few people. Marvin gave him the toughest fight. If not, I wouldn't say almost beat him, but probably maybe for one round. He gave Izzy a real tough time on the ground. So I think he is deserving of that title shot. Whittaker, like you said, clean out division. If Izzy did not exist, Whittaker would be the world champ. If Izzy wasn't around, Whittaker would beat world champ hands through. He's demolished everyone. I think he'll even beat Till, didn't he? Or they haven't fought yet.
No, he did.
He beat Till. Now, I don't know much about the details of how that transpired, but I feel 9 times out of 10, and I love Whittaker, man. He's the man. Mozzie, Mozzie Oldie, Moldy Aussie. I feel if they fight 9 times out of 10, Izzy will maybe potentially always has his number just because of the way he strikes, the way Whittaker comes forward. I think right now it just makes more sense for Vittori because of the heat, how crazy he is, maybe buys, pay-per-views, etc. After that, yes, Whittaker, but it was so quick with that last fight with Whittaker and Izzy. What's going to be that different? I'm not sure. Like I said, if they fight 9 times out of 10, I feel Izzy always has his number. Dylan, Izzy would be a great fight. And hopefully Izzy beats Vittori, then what? They're going to line up Whittaker again, but I don't see too much changing.
See, and I guess that's where I'll disagree with you a little bit on 2 things. Marvin gave him a hard fight in the sense I think it was a split decision.
Yes.
Right. I still think the hardest fight that Izzy has had was against Calvin. I thought that was a brutal fight. That's the one where Izzy obviously famously is like, I'm ready to die. Like when he looks at Calvin in that 5th round, he goes, I'm ready to die for this, right? So I believe that was the hardest fight. And I also feel like, look, and it's all like hypotheticals, but I also feel like the time that Izzy fought Rob, I mean, he single-handedly beat Rob. Like there's no denying that, but I also feel like that was the worst we've ever seen Rob. And was it a case of that Izzy made him look that bad? Or was it that something wasn't right? Because when, for instance, as I say, you look at, and you can never do MMA math, we all know that, but when you look at, for instance, how tough a fight Kelvin was, and then when you see what Rob just did to Kelvin a month back, so either Rob's gotten a lot better, Kelvin's got a lot worse, I don't know, but and also, as I said, styles make fights, so maybe Izzy does have his number. But I just feel like that would be the fight to make in the sense of even like pay-per-view, even like, and look, what Rob was saying is hopefully the borders are open and they can bring the UFC back to even New Zealand or Australia, and you do that fight, it would be massive. It would literally be massive. So that's, I guess, my only dispute there. And with the Marvin thing is, look, and I'll be the first one to admit it, like at the very beginning, I guess, Izzy being the kickboxer, we all saw that maybe his wrestling wasn't up to par at that stage, right? And I feel like that's where Vittori had his success. In that 3rd round, he was able to take Izzy down. And then obviously they went, all right, let's match Izzy up with wrestlers. That's when they started giving him Brad Tavares and people who legitimately are wrestlers, right? But I feel like, and this is the scary thing when it comes to Izzy, I always say, like, he's still getting better. So yes, I think Vittori had his number in the wrestling on that first match, but I also feel now that Izzy's improved that much that wrestling won't be the it factor no more. And I honestly don't see it going to a split decision. I think I would even guess that Izzy might get a finish on this one. I really do.
Really good point. He's evolving every single time, and look, so much has changed since then. And we'll see. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding when Vittori and then fight in, I guess, 3 weeks' time, almost, or 4 weeks. Going back to Whittaker and Izzy, you're right. I mean, the surgery, the time off, Izzy didn't make him look great, and then he came out and destroyed Gaston like he did. It's like, what? MMA mathematics. What I would love to see if Izzy comes forward is that we take that fight of Whittaker and Izzy over here, because I know you guys would love an Aussie, but we might try pull her over here. Where do you think it would go if that fight did happen?
Well, I guess it just depends on the border closures. Like at the end of the day, that's what it kind of like. If Australia was like, yeah, we're open to the idea of having the UFC come and having a full capacity crowd, and say New Zealand is still tighter on their borders, then obviously it would happen here. But like, I mean, if say like all the conditions are the same, yeah, it'd be cool to have it over in New Zealand. I really think it would be. And I think wherever we hold it, you'll have Australians flying, especially with the Trans-Tasman bubble right now, you would have Australians fly to New Zealand, or you would have Kiwis fly to Australia, whichever way. But I think it's a massive fight, right? And I don't know. I just think it's the fight to make. And as I said, it wasn't like they were like, look, Marvin's getting the first shot. The thing that kind of like took me back a little bit was that they were like, he's got to go to the back of the line. And I was kind of like, but he just went to the back of the line and he's just beat all these guys again to get back up to the top. And now that he didn't take this fight in June, and Rob had excuses, the quarantine, the hand was injured, for whatever. He had multiple reasons why he didn't want to take it in June. But then they've turned around and said, well, that was his opportunity. If he doesn't want to take it, he's back to the back of the line. And it's like, well, what? So he's got to beat Till, Cannonier, Kelvin again. Like he's just cleaned out that division. So like, where are we going?
I hear what you're saying, but I think it's not unknown that the UFC at times use bullyish tactics, and I think that's how Conor got to where he was, by just taking every opportunity. Hey, do you want this? Yeah, boom, boom, and took it. And unfortunately, they probably put things on the table like they did in the situation, and Rob didn't take it for obviously legitimate reasons, and then next in line was Vettori. And I think the way Vettori's, he's been pretty wild on the mic lately. He's probably getting a lot of Twitter views. All that.
As I said, he played his cards right. As soon as he heard Rob go, I won't be ready till September, that very, like, within 5 minutes, there's a soundbite of him going, well, I'm ready in June. You want to fight in June? Let's go. And I was like, he's going to get it. I have to say, Vettori played it smart.
Well, he'll just have to back it up when it comes to it. And